For 101.7 The Fox, I'm Scott Less. Welcome to the Less is More Lounge as we found ourselves underneath the Great American Music Hall downtown San Francisco. Headlining tonight, Flyleaf. I'm here with the tremendous front woman from the band. Lacey is spending some time with us. How are you doing today, Lacey?
It's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a great day. Thank you again for taking your time to spend some time with us today. And congratulations on what is going to be the new release from Flyleaf. For about a week and a half away from Memento Mori. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about the difference that you guys took in going to the studio to write and record your follow-up.
Well, obviously, Memento Mori was written throughout the 4 years between the first record and this one, and it was written on the road here and there. Each member, we write songs. That's kind of what we do to cope and express ourselves. So there's a lot of songs that we've written over the years, and we started making them into Flyleaf songs during sound checks on tour. And it all came together at the end in the studio with Howard Benson, which was, I think, we started October of last year in the studio off and on with him. And the biggest difference, I think, is that it was written on the road, and also that it was a lot more personal to us than the first record in the sense of, we got to do more of what we wanted without compromising much of what we did in the first place.
And you stated that you used Howard Benson again as your producer. Was that very important for you guys to go back to what he had helped you guys with on your debut, to kind of stay with the same formula?
It was funny because it wasn't the same formula. So what was good about going back with him is that he seemed to have a little bit of a different mentality, and the same kind of thing we were looking for was we wanted to push the envelope a little bit with what we had done and with what's on the radio in general, but we still wanted to be able to make sure that we did it in a concise way that didn't make you lose your attention, like radio does so well, keeps your attention. So I wanted to make sure we did that too, not just for radio, but because, it helps to get the message across and make it the most important focus, So he had the same mentality we had that we wanted to have. So, and plus we knew him and we'd become friends with him. He knew us pretty well and knew what we were going for and really cared about our message the first time around, and had that same encouragement in the second record. So
I'm Scott Less. We're backstage with Lacey, frontwoman from the band Flyleaf, talking about the upcoming new release, Memento Mori, and the pretty much the kickoff of the U.S. tour. It was probably nice for you guys to take some time away from being on the road, as you guys are true road warriors, being on the road for over 2 straight years. As a live band over the last 2 years, is there one show that sticks out in your head as one of the greatest live performances that the band Flyleaf has put together, in your opinion?
Wow, it's funny because I think one of the best shows was probably one of the worst shows in another sense. Was we were playing. There's two that kind of had the same scenario happen with. One was in San Antonio. We were playing and I think lightning struck right in front of the building where we were going to play. We had our guitars on and we're walking to stage and everything went out. All the lights went out, and so we just waited a while and nothing and nothing came back on, and they were like, "It's done, it's out. We're not going to have it on till tomorrow." Wow. And so what we did was we had our techs pull out their flashlights and held the flashlights up, and everybody who had phones held their phones up so that there was a little light in there, and we played acoustic, and the fans sang so loud my ears were ringing just from their voices, and they sang every word to every song. It was really overwhelming.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And over the last 2 years, you also went overseas to perform live for the troops. You guys played in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your experience of going behind enemy lines and for such a very important cause, really.
Well, one of the things that we heard a bunch was from the soldiers there in Afghanistan was that they appreciated to know that they're not America's forgotten. You see all this stuff on the news, and the media makes the war look a certain way, and depending on whatever their opinion is, and it just feels confusing when you're over here. But when you get there, there's not that feeling of confusion. It's so clear that they know what they're doing. They have this passion in their heart to keep their family safe, and that's what we heard over and over again was we're here so that you can be there and everyone can come to your shows and have a good time and not worry about bombs or anything like that like we have here. and that was a little overwhelming. Just getting there and getting briefed everywhere we went. This is where the bomb shelter is, and if you hear the alarms go off and it hasn't hit your building, then you go to this bomb shelter, and there, and then we're on the plane, with full armor, like we have bulletproof vests and our helmets and everything. It weighs a ton. It was like weighs half as much as I do, and they were like, we're in the air, and they're like, okay, if there's enemy fire while we're in the air, pray to whoever you believe in. And we're like, oh God, this is real, it's a real war. And it was pretty intense, because it seems like every place we went to, they had secured it for a certain period of time, so it was safe to go in. But then right after we would visit the place there would be something happen the day after we were there.
Wow.
Where there was a bomb. People we had met were killed like the next day, and it really, emphasized what memento mori means while we were there. Like, remember that you'll die. Remember your life is precious. Remember the people around you's lives are precious, and make the most of every opportunity that you have with people. So that was neat.
It sounds amazing, and what a cool opportunity, I would think, for not only for a rock band to go there, but I think for the troops also to have such a cool rock band come and perform live for them. Just very, very cool. Thank you for doing that. Yeah. That's excellent. We're talking with Lacey, frontwoman from the band Flyleaf, just a couple of weeks before the release of Memento Mori, which is going to be hitting stores. And one of my favorites that I liked of what you guys did with the debut CD release is when you re-released it with some extras on there, including a live and unplugged set that you guys ended up doing. You are just a tremendous vocalist, and it even really shows even more live and unplugged. Do you have a vision of doing more of that, either live on tour or for a future CD release?
I'd love to. We haven't talked about it that much, but I think what was cool about re-releasing the CD with the acoustic is that, we were growing in different aspects of who we are as a band, and we were still making new fans at that time, and so it was really neat to be able to put it out again with the acoustic. And I kind of like that setting in a different way. I think there's a really important message that comes across in rock music, but then there's also the other way. The message that comes across with acoustic is a different and more special, a different situation. It's really important too, just as well.